What's going on, everybody? The original Mako back with a little bit of a different type of video. I don't usually just kind of sit in front of the camera and talk about my opinions on things because that's not what a lot of you guys are here for, but I'm going to be on vacation very soon for 2 weeks, so I'm recording a lot of videos early so you guys will have plenty of content while I'm not able to stream and make videos, like every day. So I figured I would sit down and talk about the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard case, which just ended today at the time I'm recording this. The verdict was reached. I don't know when this is going to go up, if I'm being honest, so who knows. But I felt I would sit down and talk and kind of give my own opinions because regardless of what a lot of people think, I think it was actually pretty important, a pretty important case. So for those of you that don't know, on my stream, which check the link down below, stream's right down there, the last 2.5 weeks of the trial, we tuned in every day and watched from start to finish the whole time, and analyzed it, talked about it together, and got to see a lot of the evidence presented. Now, obviously, I missed the first 3 weeks and only saw some highlights, but I got a good sense of a lot in those 2.5 weeks. So I can imagine the other 3.5 weeks were very similar. And today, the verdict was reached, and there was obviously Johnny Depp was suing Amber Heard for $50 million, and Amber Heard was countersuing Johnny Depp for $150 million. Each side had 3 statements that they claimed were defamation or defamatory statements against them. Johnny Depp won 3. He won all 3 of the statements. The jury unanimously decided that Johnny Depp proved that the statements were defamatory about him and all this other stuff. So he got all 3 of the statements that he said were defamatory. The jury unanimously agreed. Amber Heard had 1 of the 3 statements that the jury unanimously agreed was defamatory. So in the end, Johnny Depp won about $8,350,000 ish because they awarded Johnny Depp $10 million for the damages, and then another $5 million for punitive damages. However, the punitive damages were capped at $350,000, so he can't get any more than that. So it's $10 million plus $350,000 minus $2 million because that's what Amber Heard won. So Johnny Depp's he's plus about $8.5 million. Amber's Amber. So regardless, there were a lot of people who whether it was on Twitch chat or just in general, who said, "Oh, I don't really. It's rich people problems. What difference does it make? It doesn't really matter." And first of all, it's just entertaining. It was entertaining for me, and it was entertaining for a lot of people to watch. That's why there were 3.5 million people watching the verdict today. Well, more than that. There was 3.5 million on just one YouTube channel. So there was millions of people tuning in every single day for this case. But I think it actually is a lot bigger than just entertainment. Obviously, it was fun to watch. There was a lot of interesting moments, and being able to hear all this stuff is pretty crazy. But most of the time when there's a serious allegation against somebody, whether it's true or false, it's not broadcast to the public. Most of these trials aren't broadcast to the public. You don't get to see how it's being handled. All this stuff. And this was a very unique scenario where, because they're famous, it does get broadcast to the public, which means millions of people get to see how it's handled, get to see how everything works. And I think this was a good example of that. The truth will come out. I think this was a very, very good precedent to set for, potential future fake allegations. It was proven pretty heavily that Amber Heard was abusive in the relationship, and I don't think Johnny Depp is a great guy. He wasn't the best boyfriend ever, best husband ever, by any means. There's a lot of things he said and did that were not a very good look for him, but at no point was there any proof that he physically or sexually assaulted Amber Heard, and Amber Heard claimed that he did. Those types of allegations can immediately ruin somebody's life without any evidence, without any proof at all. I'm going to pull up both statements from Johnny Depp and Amber Heard so we can read it together. But those allegations can instantly ruin somebody's life with no evidence, because people are inclined to believe somebody that is coming forward and giving those allegations, because it's hard to come forward and say that publicly. Say that I was domestically abused, say that I was sexually assaulted. It's not easy to do. So with such a serious allegation, you're inclined to believe that person. Now, if they're fake allegations, I think personally there needs to be serious repercussions. Obviously, Johnny won the case. He's getting his money. I think Amber needs to be put in jail. There needs to be something serious, because she tried to fabricate a story to ruin Johnny Depp's life. And this, I'm sure, once again, we only know about this case because it's public, but I'm sure there are many cases all the time. There's a couple I can think of like NFL players who get all these allegations because people just want money, and without any evidence or anything, no proof, they just, the NFL, it's like, well, they're just trying to get money here. This is all fake. It's not real. So I think there needs to be a precedent set that should be serious repercussions for these fake allegations. And once again, I do think this is just very important, because if Amber would have won this after seeing all the evidence and everything that happened, it would say, oh, well, okay, I might be able to get away with these fake allegations and get some money out of it. Or for anybody who's a male who's been domestically abused, they might say, now it's going to be even harder to come forward because people just aren't going to believe me. People are going to say that I was the one who was abusing. But it's not gender. There should be no gender, or anybody can be domestically abused, whether it's male, female, anybody. It doesn't matter. But because of the stipulations that come with it, it's harder for people to believe a man coming forward and saying, yes, I was abused, she was abusing me, which is frustrating. And that's why I'm glad that Johnny Depp won this case, because the evidence was very clear and convincing that he was getting abused in the relationship. There was no, Amber multiple times on video admitted to hitting or physically assaulting Johnny, whereas Johnny never admitted or apologized or any of that on video to doing anything like that. Did he get angry? Yes. Did he break some stuff around the house on video? Yes. Did any of the evidence show that he ever physically or sexually assaulted Amber? No. So those allegations are ridiculous, and it's just really frustrating that, and hopefully, once again, we don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully Amber Heard has bigger repercussions than just $8.5 million. So anyways, I was going to read through both statements here. Let me actually get the second one pulled up so we can make this a little bit easier. Make sure we have both. So I'm just going to read through it and talk about it a little bit, because I think Johnny's is very important. But we'll have Amber's come up here first. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll blow this up. Okay, thanks, Twitter. So this is what Amber Heard tweeted after the result. The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I am heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. I believe Johnny's attorneys succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. A trial that was wildly different than this one, mind you. I'm sad I lost this case, but I am sadder still that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. So let's start with this here, this last little statement. Start from the bottom. She pivots away from the sexual violence and the sexual assault, the domestic violence, to freedom of speech, because they tried to pull that out of their ass at the end of the trial and say, listen, this case is about defamation. The case was not about domestic violence or any of it. It was about defamatory statements that were made from both sides. So they were trying so hard to convince the jury, we have a freedom of speech, we can say whatever, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter who assaulted who. Oh, boy, I have a freedom to say what I want. So to me, that was the legal team and Amber getting together and being like, listen, all this evidence shows that Johnny, was the abused in the relationship. It doesn't look good for you. So let's pull out a freedom of speech card and see if we can possibly get the jury to take that side. They didn't. Once again, the fact that Johnny swept the floor and went 3 for 3, the jury said yes, all 3 statements Amber made in the op-ed were defamatory, and only one of the statements that Amber was claiming was defamatory against her, they ruled yes on. To me, all that does is show that the jury knew that Amber was lying. So not only were the statements defamatory, but now the jury and most of the public, I'd say probably 90% or more of the public, understand that Amber Heard is an abuser and lies, a constant liar, because she lied consistently in court, and I think the evidence made that pretty obvious. So not only is she going to be down $8.5 million, but now it's going to be extremely difficult for her to get work on a movie, get any sort of brand deals, because a movie producer or a owner of a company knows that if we have Amber Heard on our side, the public is going to hate us. The public is going to hate us. So not only does Amber lose the case here, but she loses the public case as well, which is arguably even worse for her. And once again, I've been saying this the whole time, but Johnny Depp won this case regardless. If the verdict came out today and Johnny didn't win, he still would have won the public opinion. So going forward, fingers crossed, hopefully he stays sober and doesn't get relapsed with the drugs or the alcohol. Hopefully he can stay, unaddicted, because he said he's been sober for a while now. So hopefully he can stay that way. If he stays that way, the public's back on his side. He's going to have no issues getting jobs in movies, getting brand deals, going on music tours, which he's currently doing right now. He's going to have no problems with that. Whereas Amber will find it extremely difficult to get a job. So it was a win-win for Johnny, regardless of what happened. But the fact that they pivoted to the freedom of speech thing is just wild to me, and just kind of cements the fact that I think Amber Heard knows that she obviously knows, but she understands that the public now knows that she was the abuser in the relationship. So obviously Amber's going to be appealing the case, possibly might try for a retrial. I hope the damages don't get lowered, and I hope there's no retrial, because it was pretty clear and convincing from all the evidence. But that was Amber's statement. Let's now take a look at Johnny's from today. And it's kind of a 2-part special here. So this was Johnny Depp's statement afterwards. 6 years ago, my life, the life of my children, the lives of the closest to me, and also the lives of the people who for many, many years have supported and believed in me were forever changed, all in the blink of an eye. False, very serious, and criminal allegations were levied at me via the media, which triggered an endless barrage of hateful content. Although no charges were ever brought against me, I read that weird. Although no charges were ever brought against me. It had already traveled around the world twice within a nanosecond, and it had a seismic impact on my life and my career. And 6 years later, the jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled. My decision to pursue this case, knowing very well the height of the legal hurdles that I'd be facing and the inevitable worldwide spectacle into my life, was only made after considerable thought. This is a big one for me, because Johnny Depp probably knew some of the stuff Amber had. Like, once again, there's a few videos that make Johnny Depp, he's breaking glasses. He's clearly very, very either drunk or on drugs and is just way out of it. And he knew people were going to see that side of him. And to be willing to put that public image of him out there in order to try to win this case because he didn't want people thinking he was an abuser is it's hard to do. It's hard to do, especially when originally so many people thought that he was the abuser because there was no proof otherwise until a little bit of a leaked video. But then really, once this court case happened, you got to see much more of the whole story. And I'm sure that was hard for both sides, honestly. Regardless of the outcome, having your entire life, an entire private part of your life now public to millions of people, I'm sure it's not easy. From the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth, regardless of the outcome. Speaking the truth was something that I owed to my children and to all those who have remained steadfast in their support of me. I feel at peace knowing I have finally accomplished that. Part 2. I am and have been overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and the colossal support and kindness from around the world. I hope that my quest to have the truth be told will have helped others, men or women, who have found themselves in my situation, and that those supporting them never give up. I also hope that the position will now return to an innocent until proven guilty, both within the courts and in the media. That's the big one I talked about earlier. That statement is a big thing from this because, once again, giving an allegation of sexual assault or domestic violence, or whatever it is, people are very inclined to just immediately believe the allegations because of how serious they are, but that can ruin somebody's life. Once again, public image is wildly important in most careers. You know, you have to be seen as a decent person to have a job just about anywhere. If people are like, well, this guy's an abuser or we don't want to hire him, then that's, a serious problem. So believing allegations immediately with no evidence is something that we can't do this is a society. We can't do that as a society. If there's evidence right away, I guess with Amber's right away, there were some bruises and stuff. But once again, until there's some sort of conclusive evidence, try to refrain from being so adamant to just get going. Holy shit, he's an abuser. Get him out of the Pirates movies. Get him, go, get him. He got to be fired from everything. Go. In any situation, like he says, men or women, you can't just believe the person who's coming forward right away. You have to have some evidence first, which is how it should be. And I know in the media, it's never, ever, ever going to be like that, but that's how it should be. I wish to acknowledge the noble work of the judge, the jurors, and the court staff and the sheriffs who have sacrificed their own time to get to this point, and to my diligent and unwavering legal team who did an extraordinary job in helping me to share the truth. The best is yet to come, and a new chapter has finally begun. This is great. Johnny's ready to move on. He now has public opinion. He won the case, and he's ready for this next part of his life, and he deserves to go on to do whatever he wants to do. Obviously, as it's much easier to make a statement as the winner of the case than as the loser, but this was just a much more thought out and well-written statement, in my opinion. And once again, Johnny Depp was talking about the truth coming out and the serious allegations. He was talking about the defamatory statements somewhat, but he was talking about the serious criminal allegations against him, not the fact that Amber was suing for defamation. It was all about the sexual and physical assault that was claimed against him, not about freedom of speech. It had nothing to do with it. This was just about the truth for Johnny. And like I said, I think it was very clear and obvious throughout watching the trial who was telling the truth and who wasn't. And I feel happy for Johnny because it's something that he deserves. And I feel like this was a really big moment for anybody out there who's either had false allegations brought up against them, or for people who have real allegations, because they can see through this trial that the truth comes out. The truth does come out, And I think it's just a really, really important thing to have cases like this that everybody gets to see. Obviously, it's very difficult for the people involved, but I think it was important and a lot more than just rich people problems. I think there was a much bigger picture here. So anyways, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. Once again, it was fun watching. It was entertaining. If there's any sort of follow-up with, like, Amber getting a retrial or lowering the damages, I doubt I'll make a video on it. But once again, just wanted to talk and give my opinion on a very, very popular thing that's been going on all over the media recently. So anyways, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the whole case down below. I am thoroughly interested to hear all your thoughts on this. So thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate the support as always. Check out those links down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.